it's Colleen with Rope and Resellers. I'm here for my weekly update of what I sold on eBay for the week of May 28th through June 3rd, 2018.
Okay, so let's see what I sold. First thing, 1980 Smurf PVC figure. These used to do better. Now they're not as good. $8.99 is what it sold for with free shipping. So I collected $8.99. Somebody gave me some of these. I don't know if I had a kid with me and they just handed them to me, but I have that I did not pay anything for it, or it was in a free bin. $4.04 for eBay, PayPal, and shipping costs for a total profit of $4.95, and it took 5 months to sell. And here he is. You know the vintage ones? Let me just point this out really quick. Well, number one, because they're usually trash, but they say 1980 Payo on the bottom, and they're made in Hong Kong. So if you're looking for the vintage ones, they did another release of PVC figures when the movie came out a few years ago. Those also are not worth very much, but if you get a whole lot of them, it could be a good thing. This is a Pfaltzgraff spongeware plate. We have a farm in an orchard in eastern Montana, and this came from that farm. It sold for $5 because somebody made me an offer and I was tired of it sitting around, and I'm trying to kind of get out of the glassware, but generally this is a good label to kind of look for. Not everything, look it up, but it can be good. So anyway, they paid shipping, so I collected $15.29. I didn't pay anything for this since I found it. $12.12 for shipping and fees for a total profit of $3.17, and it took 2.5 years to sell. Maxell tapes, I picked these up at a rummage sale a couple weekends ago. Paid 25 cents a piece for them. And they sold for $18.59. Buyer paid shipping, so I collected $22.69. I paid $1 because they were a quarter a piece for all of these. $6.79 in shipping and fees for a total profit of $14.90. And they took 1 day to sell. Remember, when you're looking for new vintage cassette tapes, blank cassette tapes, you're always looking for the high bias tapes. 100 is obviously better than 90. 60, not as good, but unless it's a type 2 high chromium oxide. I'm not sure exactly if that's a type of metal, but anyway, those are the ones that sell well. The other ones sell for almost nothing. Garnet Hill women's sweater. This was really pretty, and if it were my size, I might have kept it. It's an extra large. There's the label. Sold for $24.99. They paid shipping, so I collected $28.17. I spent $1 on this. This came in the consignment store bag with the consignment store I work with. $6.75 for shipping and fees for a total profit of $20.42, and it took 1 day to sell. ISDA & Co. This is a brand out of Nordstrom's. It's their regular label. Some capri pants. These, actually, this and this were bought by the same lady. So she paid $7.99 for both, and then she did combined shipping. So I'm not. It's convoluted. So they cost me $1 a piece, so that's $2. She paid about $8 each, so $16, plus she paid shipping, and the shipping on that was about $9 or so. So it's about $24. So for the brown pants, with fees and everything included, I just said my profit was 82 cents because that was the one that took the shipping out. I didn't combine it. And so my bookkeeping's a bit weird. So anyway, let's just tell you the whole profit for the whole thing. It was $10 and let's see, 23 cents. So My profit on that was $10.23 for both those pairs of pants. Not a lot. These only sold to one person because they're just one pair of pants. Ha! $9.99, $14.93 for shipping and fees. These are Chico's capris. Again, out of the consignment bag, so I only paid $1, $8.44 for shipping and fees, for a total profit of $5.49, and they took a month to sell. Oh, and these took 4 months to sell. And the winner of the week, my last Tapa cloth. Sigh. I love these things. You know I love these things because I always make money on them, and I usually sell them pretty quick. So even though this one had some cracks and some water stains, it still sold for $69.99. I probably could have gotten close to $80, considering it was 3 feet by 2. So it was a pretty good one. I think it was from Fiji. So anyway, it sold full price, $69.99. They paid shipping, so $77.28. I rolled it up and put it in one of the triangle tubes from Priority Mail, just to protect it. $8 is what I paid for this at an estate sale. $17.25 for shipping and fees, for a total profit of $52.03. And it took 2 weeks to sell. Looking at the numbers, $153.53 is what everything sold for, $189.98, including the shipping they paid. Cost of goods, $13, $65.59 for shipping and fees, for a total profit, $111.39. That's okay, because last week was good, right? So you just got to average over the whole month and then compare it to last year, and I'm still ahead, so it's all good. Amazon merch, 7 shirts sold for a total profit of $33.18. That is an online print on demand through Amazon. Not doing super great over there either, so my total e-commerce adventure comes to $144.57.
So sales are slow. It's summer. It was a holiday weekend. I listed clothes. I can go on and on with excuses, but simply put, I am obviously not finding what it is that people need or want on eBay. I tried to list clothes that were in the $20 range this week, and the only thing that sold right away was that Garnet Hill. But some of the stuff I listed, there was a couple sweaters that I listed this week, and that's just not what people are buying. And I tried to list things like tank tops, and I have some watchers, and I listed them fairly inexpensively, but I'm still not very good at selling clothes, and that's okay. But what I want to talk about this week, and kind of maybe not a tip, but just a talking point, is about burnout. So I used to work in the ski industry for a very long time, for almost 20 years, actually for 20 years, if you include working abroad. And I was in charge of instructors, and there was a time during the season, usually about a month before we were done, where it was still really busy and the weather was starting to get nice and days were starting to get longer and people got burnt out. And when I worked in California, in Tahoe, it was acceptable to complain and part of the job. When I moved here, I started working with Austrians who have a much different attitude about skiing and snow and seasonal work. And they just didn't tolerate burnout, that wasn't part of their vocabulary or part of their culture. And I really appreciated that, and I like to adopt that with my instructors. And as a result, I adopted it for myself. I did eventually switch careers in the industry and did some patrolling. But the same sort of phenomenon would start to happen in almost every department. And the Austrians always say it's an attitude, that you can say, oh my gosh, it's almost the end of this thing that I have to do. Obviously on eBay, there's never an end until we decide, but it is an attitude. And if you just are listing clothes for $6 and go into the bins and it's becoming a grind, it's really up to us as resellers to change up the game. Start going to estate sales. try a new avenue, do books, do I don't know, glassware, do electronics, pick a different genre or niche to try and learn about, and don't list the thing that is driving you insane and making you feel like you're not making any money. It's a hard time of year, and it's hard to know what people are going to want or what they're looking for. Do some research. Take a week off and just do research, or just go to an auction. Just find out whatever it is that's going to be that spark. It's important to remember why we do this in the first place, that we get our freedom, that we get our time. So don't give up. Just adapt and change your attitude. Just like the Austrian said, burnout is an attitude. It's a choice. We choose to be burnt out, or we can choose to try something new and be reignited and inspired to break outside of our comfort zone. So with that, I do want to mention I have started selling on Etsy, and I only have 6 things up and no action there. I didn't expect that. I don't have very much stuff up there. I don't really want to cross list. I'm really worried about canceling and keeping track of all that, because now I have Mercari and Posh and Etsy, and I just don't really want to get confused. So I kind of want to keep everything sort of separate. And I'm not getting any action on Posh. I'm not putting any effort into Posh. I'm not sharing. I'm not liking. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So I don't know that that's going to be a good platform for me. And Mercari, I haven't really listed anything. I'm not seeing much action over there either. So we'll see. I've got some other pans in the fire locally that I'm trying to sell some stuff on, Facebook, OfferUp, that kind of stuff, and trying to make a little extra money on the side. Furniture sells pretty well this time of year where I live, because we get a lot of people, tourists buying houses, and they need to fill the houses. And so if I can find vintage furniture that's cleaned up and nice, sometimes I can do well with flipping that stuff. So I want to thank you for watching, as always. And I am sorry that I didn't get back to everybody with the comments last week. It's been a little crazy. We've got one graduating this year, and from middle school. It's not a big deal, but then there's finals and all of that, and keeping children fed and happy and not grumpy because they're studying so much. So I've been focusing on my family a little bit, and I apologize for not paying attention. I will try to get through those comments here in the next day or two. I hope you guys have some good sales, even though it's slow. Go outside of your comfort zone, do a little research, take a break, enjoy the sunshine, and we'll see you next week.